This is Lloyd, and I'm happy to speak with you again. And I have a title for this Sunday and also for April 8th down in Burlingame. This Sunday in San Francisco, I'll be speaking on Thrive and Live Life as an Immortal. And that will be the title that I'll use for our opening Sunday on April 8th in Burlingame. For those of you who are on our email list and live in the Peninsula area, do invite your friends and guests. I would like to meet them. And after all, I'd like to remind them that we live our life as an immortal now, not as when we reach that so-called gateway of death. Ernest Holmes, who wrote The Science of Mind and probably had the greatest influence on me, gives a definition in his textbook on this very subject. It goes as follows, in quote, "The kingdom of heaven is not reached through the gateway of death, but by overcoming our limited beliefs while here," end of quote. I rather like that. And the poet, definitely an influence on me since we're both from the Boston area, Henry David Thoreau said, "Most mortals live their lives in quiet desperation," end of quote. I've often asked myself, why is that? And I genuinely do believe with all my heart and soul that we all prepare daily to die. I believe that the race consciousness, or as Jung called it, the collective consciousness, makes a suggestion to us that we're not going to live eternally, but rather we are going to reach that gateway that Holmes refers to. So we then unconsciously, and some of us consciously, give up on life. I always advise my students and myself, may I add, to daily declare our immortality. The title that I am using on the 1st and on the 8th came from an ad from the Kaiser Foundation. They are constantly reminding people to eat well, exercise regularly, and all the other good things that we normally know we need to do. But at the end, they say, and thrive. So I would ask you, are you thriving in your life as an immortal? Do you daily remind yourself of your immortality? Do you realize that you are, in fact, the incarnation of that which we call God, the spirit of all life, and that actually, as the consciousness of God itself and the Christ presence in you, you can never die? Now, I know that's a stretch for a lot of people, but I would ask you, just like the Kaiser Foundation asks us, to exercise that thought within yourself and let something within you, which I do call the Christ presence, respond to you and say something like this, yea and amen. So I invite you again, if you're in the city, we'll meet this Sunday at 2 o'clock at the Century Club. The details are on the website. And then on April 8th, we'll meet in Burlingame at the Women's Club on Park Avenue. I've dubbed it Sunday Afternoons at the Park. I'll look forward to seeing you, and remember daily to prepare to live and to thrive, to prosper, and know there's no end. One more thought I'd like to share with you that I think is important. It was at the end of the eulogy for that wonderful man who created Apple with his partner, Steve Jobs. I don't know if Steve Jobs believed in immortality, but his sister, in giving the eulogy, said when he was at that point of stepping over, the one word, the last word he said was, in quote, "Wow," end of quote. Paul says we should think on these things. I invite you to do so, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.